Kiss Army. I'm Pasquale Veri.
I am Ferris Pera. Welcome to Let Me Know, a short kiss.
Well, listen, we all knew it was coming. Pophouse, the global entertainment and investment firm, announced the acquisition of the music catalog, brand name, and likeness, including the face paint designs and Kiss trademarks. What does it all mean? I don't know. I'm not altogether sure. To get an idea, though, check out the Music Biz weekly podcast with Michael Brandvold and Jay Gilbert. What does it mean for Kiss fans? Now let's talk. Claudio, so what was your initial response to this announcement?
As you said in the introduction, there's been quite some talk over the last months, even before the New York shows, that Kiss was about to sell, in quotation marks, their music catalog and stuff. That was a hell of a news. And then we're going to go into the details later on here just to discuss what that means for us and what it really means. Because if you really take a look at the press release from Pophouse, it is kind of clear. But then there were so many other headlines going all over internet, and then people start to get confused. But to answer to your question, I think that since the New York shows, this is the biggest news we've had in the Kiss camp, and now I think I can better understand why some of the things were going in the direction that they were going over the last 2-3 months that we had the chance to discuss here. The new release of Creatures of the Night, and then the non-release of the debut album box set and all of that. I think now we can have a better grasp on why those things were happening and see what happens next. But I'm really interested to know what was your reaction? What was your initial response to the announcement, Pasc?
Well, like I said in the intro, we all saw this coming, right? But
Yeah,
even when it happened, it's like, whoa, it actually happened,
yeah,
So it was still a surprise, and it was huge news. It was even on the mainstream news. I heard it on CJAD. I heard it on the news. It's huge. It's huge. But my initial response really was to learn more. What does it all mean? So I was going through the articles. I went through Michael's podcast twice to try to understand the business behind this, and I can't say that I do. It's really complex. There's so
it
much that
is.
probably happened behind the scenes that we're not aware of. So here's where I want the help of the Kiss Army, because there's two things I'm confused about. Number one, Pophouse is the company that's doing the avatars, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't it have been cool if now that Pophouse acquired the Kiss brand, they announced this is what we're doing, the Kiss avatars? Why would they announce it at the final show? This would have
Yeah.
been the perfect time to do it. You've got this major news and this even bigger news, Kiss avatars is coming out. That would have been awesome. Number one. Number two, from my understanding, Universal still owns the Kiss music, at least the majority of it. Kiss
Yes.
owns or owned the more recent stuff. So I still don't understand why the box sets haven't been released or the soundboards. Isn't that Universal?
Mm,
Or are the soundboards part of the new material? I'm
mm,
not sure. So
right.
I'm not quite sure what's happening with the music yet.
Yeah. It is a bit confusing, and I think it's where I think you and I were far from being able to educate the audience and the people who actually watch and listen to our podcast. But I think it is important to say. I just want to point out on your first on your first remark. Um, I think that maybe now that we understand that they are acquiring, the trademark, they are acquiring the IP, the intellectual property, and they are acquiring actually the iconic makeup and all of that. Basically, what they bought, which by the way, nobody ever disclosed the amount, those 300 million that are floating there, that was a guess from someone. Maybe it's close, I don't know. But what they acquired is basically the brand. That thing that Gene has always been saying over and over again. Kiss is a brand. The logo and the iconic faces and all of that. now speaking of music, as you just said, um, in the PR in the press release from Pophouse, they are saying that Kiss sold their artistic share, okay, and their publishing rights of their music. They're not saying that they sold the catalog to Pophouse because, as you just said, the catalog had been acquired by Universal a long time ago, except for the last two albums. But to bring a little bit more confusion into this, if you look at the back of the soundboards, they're saying UMG. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so exactly as you said, as you just said, what does that mean? So for next releases, is this going to be under Pophouse's deal? I don't think so. Maybe the publishing rights they will go through them, but not owning, new box sets or new of the soundboard releases. Still up in the air, but um, this is not the same deal that was announced a long time ago with Bob Dylan, with Bruce Springsteen,
Mm-hmm.
where they were selling actually their music catalog. Kiss's music catalog had been sold a long time ago. So this is now what we're selling. What the band is kind of transferring to them. It's the brand, So everything
Right.
that we loved, for so long. So now, um, we Kiss fans, wherever there is Kiss news, we're very vocal about it, and the fans have been very vocal about this announcement. So, Pask, what are your thoughts about the fans' reaction?
Listen, I love being part of this community, being part of the KISS Army, but sometimes I just don't understand some of the reactions out there. Like I said earlier, there's so much that I don't understand about what's going on. I'm not going to claim that I understand or make comments claiming that I understand any of this because I don't. So I'm just going to sit back and see what happens. And I'm going to learn as information comes and digest information as it comes. But then you hear comments, 300 million wasn't enough. First of all, are
Yeah.
we absolutely sure it was 300 million? Like Bruce Springsteen sold it for his music catalog at 500 million. Again, like you said, Kiss wasn't selling their music catalog, it's their brand
Yeah.
for 300 million.
Yeah.
That's a whole different ballgame.
If ever, if the 300 million is true.
Exactly, exactly. So, don't comment about what you don't understand. And
Mm.
another one I saw, Kiss are sellouts. What do you mean they're sellouts? They're retiring. This is a fantastic thing for them, and I think they deserve it. They've been around for 50 years, and they could basically coast on their name. But you know what? They have at least, as far as we know, 300 million from this deal.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, live off of it. And,
Mhm.
G will continue touring. Paul could continue doing his paintings and he could do Soul Station. There's so much more they can do, but they know and they could sleep easy that everything they've created in the last 50 years will continue on. And that's what makes this thing so special.
Mhm. Mhm.
What do you think?
Well, I'm with you on this one, and I think that uh, capitalizing on the vision that these guys had in 1972, that's the real deal. So let's say that it's 300, okay? So you're making 300 million out of an idea that they were able to sustain over the years, okay? And they were fighting against, everything because, you got to be there for 50 years, man, sustaining, not only the brand, but the music and the fans and all of that. And now, to me, this puts an ending to their great idea that they had, back in the 70s. So again, we're not here to judge people who wants to judge. All good with them. But look, if I were in their position, or let's say that both of us, we have a great idea, that we make it grow. We create an empire out of that idea. When we're about to retire, why not monetizing that idea?
Yeah.
Right? So what's wrong with that? So now, I think they are not that they needed to do this, but they are securing wealth for their families, for their grandchildren and grandchildren. So why not doing that? So it's they were there fighting. We were not. We were enjoying everything as fans, but they own the right to do whatever they want with this.
Absolutely. All right, so this is the part I want to get to. What does this mean for the Kiss fans? What does it mean to you, Claudio?
Um, Well, it's interesting. We touched on this before. To me, it's always very difficult to kind of separate, the emotional thing from the business and rational, decisions. Uh, like it happened to you. Kiss has meant so much to me. They're part of my life, and of course, that logo and those iconic faces, they are around me all the time. So now seeing this in quotation marks go to someone else, it's kind of a bittersweet. But I'm trying to put a little bit more rational here, and just to understand this is just a business decision, and whatever the Kiss logo means to me and those iconic faces will still mean the same to me. Okay, so whether the money goes from one pocket to the other, I don't think it makes a difference to me at the end of the day. If Gene and Paul and the Kiss company are getting the money, or if Pophouse is getting the money, does it change anything for me at the end of the day? I don't think so. So now, if you're talking about future and what we can expect, I think this is a good deal. I think they partner with people that know what they're doing. I'm not going to talk about the avatars because that's one of the things that they might develop. But I pretty much prefer that they picked this company, a Swedish company that they are well known to do things, the proper way and blah blah blah, than selling, for instance, their brand to Disney. I don't know. That's my take. Okay. I prefer someone who is really involved in the entertainment and brand building business than a commodity like what Disney is maybe. So what do you think? What does it mean to you?
I think since the end of the road till now, Kiss fans have been in limbo. The great thing about being a Kiss fan is we're always wondering, okay, what's next? And we're
Yeah,
always excited about what's next. So for a period of time, we had no idea
yeah,
what was next. Now, I think Kiss fans could be excited again because we know that there's going to be a next. And there's going to be an exciting next. Because for all intents and purposes, Paul and Gene are retiring, and rightly so. Now, Pophouse wants to make a profit off their investment. So they're surely going to do some really incredible things to make that happen. And I think that's exciting. I'm looking forward to what they're going to do. And the avatars is just one of those things. That's
yeah,
not for me. That's not for
yeah,
me. But they're going to do other things that might be for me. I
yeah,
don't know. We'll
yeah,
see. That's the fun part. And I just hope that there is more music related products out. That's for sure what I would love. But let's see what happens. And that's the great thing. It's great to be a Kiss fan again. We're not in
yeah,
limbo anymore.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
number one. Number two, I think, you know, they're going to come from a different perspective, a different way of looking at things. They want to try to get in the younger fan.
yeah,
So I think they're gonna do things that maybe Paul and Gene never thought of,
yeah,
that we've never seen before. I think they're going to be able to think outside the box to release some really cool stuff.
hmm,
I heard somewhere or read somewhere that although Paul and Gene sold the rights and all that, I think they still have a say
yeah, they do.
in one form or another. I'm not sure, but I can't believe they would make any kind of deal where they have absolutely no say. It's still their brand and their
That's right.
legacy.
That's right.
They wouldn't want
That's right.
that tarnished,
That's right.
you know?
It's been mentioned from Doc, in the interview with Michael Braun, And then I don't know if that's true or not, but I've seen some announcements on different magazines from Gene saying that they keep their share, you know, and him and Paul, and they will be deeply involved in every decision that is going to be made. So whether or not that is true, I think it gives us, you know, hope that things will continue to be the way we are used to, and even more. And you know, I would like to touch on something that you mentioned before. In some of the remarks from Pophouse CEO and some of the executives, they were saying, I was paying attention to their wording, you know, to the narrative. They were saying that, you know, everything has to be innovative. You know, they want to target not only the loyal Kiss fans that have been with the band for the longest time, but also they want to make it grow. Of course, if it's a whole business, it is true that they're not going to target only the diehard and, you know, people in their 50s or 60s. They're going to go and try to capture, you know, younger people with everything digital. And now everything goes digital these days. So we listen about, you know, AI all the time. And of course, you know, having those four iconic figures, the only way to go was to go digital with the avatars. I'm not justifying, I'm not saying that I'm going to buy into that. But who knows, from now till 2027, if they do what they're supposed to be doing, which is enhance, you know, and develop these things, you know, at an enormous scale, maybe it's going to be awesome. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
So, Kiss Army, what are your thoughts about this announcement? So let us know in the comment section. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Talk soon, Kiss Army.